We're watching films on the toilet, because that's what dads have to do. When the movie's unsuitable for your kids, then pretend you need a number two. If you need a break from your family or spouse, there's a lavatorial picture house. Watch Terminator 2 while you're sitting on the loo. Enjoy the whole of Rambo 4 with your trousers on the floor. We're watching films on the toilet. How about you?
I'm looking at Chucky, and you two are kind of on the side, and it's very off-putting.
Yeah.
Ben likes to move his hands around in different positions, so when our 11-year-old son comes in, he can be like, wait, his hands weren't like that before.
You mean the doll's hands or Ben's hands?
The doll's hands.
He likes to move his own hands. You never know what he's going to be doing with his hands.
Yeah. I like having him there. He's a protector.
We got Chucky here. We got a miniature Annabelle over there. We got Predator.
What I like is that if anyone was to break into your house, they'd immediately want to leave. So today, in absence of Eamon, who is still in comedy prison, I am joined by Big Ben and Nancy from the Extreme Horror Replay podcast. Thank you for agreeing to guest host with me today, guys.
Absolutely. You know it's a good time.
You know, it's a good sign. But yeah, as I said, haven't heard from Eamon. He might be dead. But today we're going to be discussing The Loved Ones from 2009, which is a horror movie that I've wanted to talk about for some time. And because Eamon's not with us, we can.
Because he's a chicken.
He's a chicken. Hopefully he's not a chicken in prison. That sounds bad. If you're a chicken in prison, is that a bad thing?
Oh, yeah.
He'd be a prison bitch.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He's a big guy, but I think he's fluffy, so.
Like a bear.
Yes. Isn't that a term too?
Definitely is. But I'm pretty sure he's going to write in soon. So yeah, we're going to be talking about the movie, which will be fun. First of all, do you have a little bit of correspondence, if you don't mind me sharing? So last week we discussed the film *Malignant*. We weren't overly impressed, but we did come up with some ideas for a sequel, and we've had a letter. Well, I'll read it to you.
Okay.
Hey, Toilet Show. James Wan here, director of contemporary horror classics such as Saw, Insidious, The Conjuring, and of course, the best of the bunch, *Malignant*. Even though you weren't very kind about my awesome film, I was impressed by your pitches for sequels. Great idea to bring Emily's abusive husband Derek back from the dead as a vessel for the parasitic twin Gabriel. In an early draft of the movie, Derek wasn't just an abusive husband, he was also a poet. And I'd like to explore that more in part 2. I'm also very keen to see Emily master her powers, which include backwards parkour, telekinesis, knife twirling, and let's throw in skateboarding for the sequel. That'll look cool. As you know, I threw all my eggs into the major twist basket in the first movie, when I completely derailed the film with an abrupt switch from horror to action. Well, I think we should do that again, because everybody loved it. And this time I want to switch from horror to romantic comedy. I don't think that's been done before, so it must be a good idea. No one will be expecting Emily to reignite her relationship with her horribly abusive husband, particularly when he's sharing a body with her insane brother. Yep, they won't see that one coming. And I'm sure it'll be very sweet when we add romantic music and make it colourful. I'll blast out a first draft over the weekend, and I think we can get it in cinemas by Christmas. I'll be in touch soon. J1.
Wow. So do you get a part of that then, do you think?
Well, I mean, Big Ben, this has happened a few times. Tom Cruise stole one of our ideas. Ron Howard has been milking our content for years now. And now it's James Wan. So I've just come to accept that no one repays us in any way. But whatever, you know.
All right.
It's nice to see your concepts on the big screen. You haven't seen *Malignant*, but how do you feel about the other ones?
Nancy really likes The Conjuring.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm not keen on the ghost movies.
You have Annabelle.
Got one. What are you on about?
Are you a poser? You just got it just because?
Because
I like that makes him a poser because he's got an Annabelle doll.
Okay. So speaking of Annabelle, we did a Would You Rather. Nancy gave me a Would You Rather a couple weeks ago, and it was, would you rather spend the night or have a sleepover with Annabelle or with Chucky?
And as in they're like real, with their real powers.
Yes, they're real.
Both of them possessed.
Oh, who did you choose?
We both chose Chucky. Nancy thought she could appeal to his sensibilities and try and play with his mind and get him to accept her as his own. I just thought Chucky would be fun to hang out with because he's a smart ass and
He's pretty funny.
Yeah, my logic was that you could do a back and forth with Chucky, and Annabelle just sits there.
Annabelle just sits there. So
Just like destroying your mind with ghosts.
I guess it
Yeah.
depends on if you want to have fun or if you want to sleep.
You could sort of bat Chucky away. He's a bit more, you're able to manipulate him a bit more physically. Whereas Annabelle, I mean, maybe if there were certain things you didn't do, like don't touch her or don't read from the book. Like if you didn't, then maybe you'd be okay. But maybe you're just compelled to. I don't know.
Like if you've got like an ancient book that's got like a human skin cover.
Yeah, exactly. What about, okay, Chucky, Annabelle, or Barbie? Like if she was real and would talk to you. Like, oh, you look so amazing right now. Like that kind of thing. Because that would drive you insane.
That would be really scary because Barbie's small.
Yeah.
She could like get into the deep recesses of any number.
Hey, I'm Barbie. I like exploring. Excellent. Now, before we move on to the movie, though, we do have some toilet news.
Yes.
This is from the Daily Mirror, which is a British newspaper, bit of a rag.
Is it like Daily Mail?
It's not quite as bad as the Daily Mail, I wouldn't say, or the Sun, but it's not far off. So the news story is Taylor Swift fan leaves people baffled over unusual concert outfit to avoid toilet breaks. Taylor Swift fans are posting videos about wearing adult diapers during concerts to ensure they don't miss any songs and avoid any accidents. And then on the story, there's actually a TikTok video of a couple of young women who are putting on their diapers before the show. First reactions to that news story.
I'm saying based on what people are paying for her tickets, upwards of like $1,000, $2,000.
Yeah.
I mean,
Man, can you imagine? Everybody would start wearing Depends
It's the whole crowd.
because Taylor Swift did it. Yeah. That would be like the new
bad.
things. Teens are like doing it so they don't have to go to the bathroom at school or something like that.
I can imagine it. You know, people they go out drinking all night and they didn't have to go to the toilet once because they just had their nappy on.
and then where do you take it off? Do you leave the concert or do you just take it off before you leave?
No, you take it off and then you swing it around and then throw it into the audience.
She is performing for about 3.5 hours.
That's a long concert.
So it's a very long concert. Maybe they should include a diaper as part of the ticket.
Possibly.
That
But
would be such a good gimmick.
Yeah.
They'd come out with Taylor Swift brand diapers.
Shake it off,
And
you
then-
could say on it. You know, the band Coldplay have flashing wristbands and the whole crowd has a different color and it's very beautiful. So maybe they could get the diapers to flash different colors.
there's got to be a certain song, though, where everybody removes their pants so all the diapers are visible.
That would be beautiful. In the
Exactly. Or like, you know, back in the day, people might have set them on fire. You know, like you raise a lighter, set your nappy on fire and throw it into the sky. That would be more like if you were at a Metallica or a Slipknot concert or something. You could throw your flaming
It's like,
nappy.
Can
Yeah.
you imagine being the custodian at that venue when the concert is over? Oh my gosh.
So, on to the movie, shall we?
Yeah.
The Loved Ones. How did you watch this movie?
Yeah, we saw it in our movie room cave.
We did watch it in the movie room. I know that flies in the face of your show.
Any bathroom breaks in between? Because, you know, let's stay on
We
brand.
did have some bathroom breaks.
All right, good.
Yes.
I watched it on the toilet. I have seen it before, so it was more of like a refresh,
Yeah.
shall we say. Had you seen the film before?
We have, but it's been quite a long time.
We'll get into that more in a moment, but first of all, I need to do a summary
Yes.
of the film, which is a summary in the time it takes either one of you to have done a very long wee after drinking a drink of your choice. So what was the drink this week?
Much like in the movie,
A couple of ales.
Couple of ales. When I'd finished my chimney sweeping, I went and had a couple of ales.
At the pub.
well, want me to just leave you two alone?
Poop. I felt like you were going to suggest another drink, Big Ben,
I
but
was going to say, much like in the movie, they drank milk.
Yes.
And so I had a gallon.
Oh, that milk mustache was on her face for way too. Can you imagine the smell? Oh my god!
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Is 1 gallon the equivalent of what, 3.8 liters to you?
That's so much milk.
And unfortunately, when you have that much milk, you do throw it all back up. So
Oh.
my summer only lasted for 15 seconds.
50. How am I going to do this in 15 seconds? That's impossible.
You better bring it.
Oh my God. What is it? What, Nancy, how long did you go to the toilet for after the pints of ale? Maybe that'll be
Well,
more appropriate.
I think I'm a little bit more generous because I
It'll be hard.
probably drink maybe 4 or 5 before I have to go wee. So it would be like probably a whole minute.
A minute. Right, I'm taking the minute, Big Ben.
All right,
I'm taking the
that's
minute.
fine.
I
Fair
can't do
enough.
this in 15 seconds.
Yeah.
You're insane. And you threw it up. You didn't even go.
What was my conversion was correct though? Is it 3.8 liters to a gallon?
I mean, that's very specific. Let's look it up.
Yeah,
Okay.
obviously he's been doing some math on the side here.
Yeah. If you round it up, 3.78, that's 3.8. Well done.
Ah, okay.
Do you want a prize or something? Or
No.
no? Okay.
All right. Whenever you're ready.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
So it's prom night in a small Australian town, and high schooler Brent turns down an invitation from fellow student Lola because he's going to the dance with his girlfriend Holly. Seems fair? Well, not to Lola, who spends her time abducting attractive young men with her dad, then destroying their vocal cords with bleach and carving hearts into their chests before their brains are boiled and they're thrown into a cellar with her other victims, who are forced to eat roadkill and watch Thor Love and Thunder on repeat, probably. Which is exactly what Lola does to Brent, almost. Thankfully, the sheriff, whose son managed to escape from Lola's basement before curling up and dying in the outback, turns up, only to be murdered and tossed into the cellar. Lola heads off to murder Brent's girlfriend, and he manages to escape from the cellar by piling up a load of dead bodies, like Lego, but dead. Then he steals a car and runs Lola over twice. The end.
Wow.
Not bad.
I am impressed.
How'd I do?
53.71.
You had
Hey,
a spare.
how much Australian horror have you guys experienced, and what's your take on it? Obviously, there are many different types of Australian horror movies, but there's generally a kind of acknowledged tone.
Well, obviously Wolf Creek.
Feel when you say Australian horror, from what I've seen, it's just a little bit extra.
Yeah.
They do what they would do in the United States, but maybe just a little bit more pushing the envelope there.
Yeah, there is a certain bleakness and pessimism to the Australian horror movies that I've seen.
Yeah.
They all kind of feel like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes, so you've got this vast, barren outback landscape where everything seems to be in the middle of nowhere. So
Yeah.
it can all get very Texas Chainsaw Massacre very easily.
It's just like a really bad day.
Yeah. This was a bit more optimistic, I suppose, and did have a bit of a tongue in its cheek, particularly Lola's performance, which was brilliant. But, you know, she was kind of fun.
She plays Psycho really well.
She did, didn't she?
She caught me off guard because I told Ben, I was like, why does she think she has to like hornswaggle these guys?
What was that? Hornswaggle.
Hornswaggle these guys.
Well, you said she was prettier than his actual
Yeah.
girlfriend.
I mean, she's pretty enough. She doesn't have to do this shit.
Well, she doesn't have to, does she? But she's clearly a little bit broken. Just a little bit.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Elephant in the room. The guy playing the kid, who's only supposed to be like 16, was like in his mid-30s. You could tell he had stubble.
I think Lola was 28, the actress, when they made
Really?
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Oh,
she
wow.
was 28.
She has like a child-looking like face, but yeah, he wasn't kidding anybody. He looked like he had like 2 toddlers in preschool. And I'm not just talking
Maybe
about
that's-
that because we're from the rural area of Michigan of the United States.
See, he only had 10 seconds to pee, so
Hmm.
there's no reason you couldn't have finished your Summerwee in 15 seconds.
Yeah, but you weren't going to nail it to a chair if I didn't.
I didn't remember watching it this time if he actually got it tacked to the chair, and I'm thankful he didn't.
Yeah, but you know, the others might have.
That's true. Yes.
I felt that the torture methods were quite inventive. You had the bleach to the voice box, which was pretty horrific. What was the most unsettling torture method that they used?
They drilling into his head to give him a lobotomy.
Yeah, that was pretty nasty.
Yeah.
You see the little wisps of smoke
with the
coming up off
smoke.
the. Yeah.
At that point, you're kind of like, he's not coming back from this.
Yeah. He gets messed up, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, that does some permanent damage, especially if you're like in the
Frontal lobe
frontal
area.
cortex.
And they were going to pour boiling water in the hole
Oh
to
my gosh.
boil his brain. Like the first thing they did to him was inject bleach in his voice box, and from that point on, it's like all bets are off. You don't know if this guy's going to survive or not.
Well, because he can't scream for help. So
Yeah.
that's the major part of it, I think.
Do you wonder this? And I wondered this, and I told Ben when we were watching it, what is the purpose of making him deep and disturbed and with the cutting, and what purpose did that serve to the movie plot? Because I'm trying to think of what that could have meant.
Maybe he had a higher tolerance for pain than anyone else would have done.
Maybe, yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Plus, with the razor blade,
Yes.
he had it
Mhm.
so he could use it later on.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're responsible for the death of his father as well, aren't they? Because of the escaped lad at the beginning.
Because, yeah, he drove off the road to avoid the last guy that got caught.
They really mess up his life. As you said, Nancy, it was a really bad day.
Yes.
What do you feel like you would have done in this situation?
There was a couple of times when we were like, why doesn't he just...
Oh, it was when he escaped the first time. The father had the hammer. He cuts through the ropes and he stands up. And instead of cutting the ropes off of his feet, he hops out of the room.
Yeah.
And then he's running away. Somehow he gets the rope off his feet while he's hiding under the dad's car. And then he climbs a tree rather than jumping the
Oh my
fence.
gosh.
Or
The tree scene was like...
He does climb a tree. Yeah, if you just maybe gone a little bit further and jumped over the fence.
Yeah. He could have made his escape.
Or he could have just hid behind the tree. I mean, he could have easily outrun both of them because at this point, his feet had not had the steak knives driven into them.
You know what it reminded me of? Have you ever seen like the spoof of Scream, Scary Movie?
Yes.
And she had the choice of like the dagger or whatever, and then the banana, and she chooses that. And then she runs up the stairs instead of... That's what it made me feel like. Like, what idiot is going to say, I'm going to climb a tree to save myself?
Yeah.
And then they throw rocks at him until he falls out.
Yeah.
How big were those
They're
rocks
very
that
big.
they were hurling?
They were big old rocks.
They looked like coconuts.
Oh, they wouldn't be able to get like 5
You
feet in the
couldn't
air.
skim them, could
on those
you?
rocks.
They were chunky.
Yeah.
But I feel like I think I'm more willing to accept stuff like that in such a horrific, mad situation. Everything's just crazy, isn't it?
Right.
So you can't really say,
Fair point.
oh, he would
Yeah,
have
you're
done
not
that,
thinking-
because God knows how you'd react.
Yeah.
The other thing we talked about, Lola's dad was on the floor helping her and he dropped the hammer. Why didn't he bounce over or hop over to the hammer, grab the hammer and hit the father in the back of the head?
This is what we do, little Ben.
Yeah.
We watch these movies, and then just like we're rewatching Dexter for like the 30th time.
Yeah.
Every time we watch it over and over and over again, we scream at the TV saying,
Do this,
Yeah,
or don't
yeah,
do that,
yeah.
don't do that. Yeah.
But that's part of the fun, isn't it?
yeah, that's true.
Like, don't do that. But as I said, you just don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know how you'd react.
Unless you're in that situation.
You probably wouldn't climb a tree, to be fair.
I couldn't.
Climbing trees is fun, though.
Do you climb trees?
Yeah, I like to climb trees. I wouldn't climb a tree if someone had stopped me from speaking and, put knives through my feet. But
Yeah.
while all this is going on, there's an actual, the real prom is happening. Now, proms are not so much a thing over in the UK. We don't really have them.
They're huge here.
I'd like to know about your prom experiences and if they were in any way similar to the one in the movie.
We had a really horrible prom because I was sick.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like really, really sick, like out of it sick.
oh dear.
And I don't even remember like 80% of it, but he had fun.
Did you?
We were still glad we went.
You get real dressed up, you go to a really fancy restaurant,
Yeah,
you go to the prom, you leave early, and then you do what you're gonna do. And
and that's it.
some people actually get the limos.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
We
pulling
left our
up.
climb
Yeah,
trees, actually.
Now that would have been fun.
Our son just had his prom, and it was
Yeah.
he said nothing about it, which kind of
Probably went pretty well
He
then.
had fun.
he said he had fun.
Well,
I'm not going to press the issue here. He had fun. That's all we need to know.
did you
Yeah.
meet in high school? Is that when the prom is?
We met in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, our
Sweet.
senior year.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, prom night.
What?
I completely forgot. Our friends, my girlfriend and Ben's friend, were dating at the same time we were. And obviously, after prom, we took my room. And my mom and dad went to Windsor, Canada for the night. So nobody was in the house except for us. So we let our friends have my sister's room. And then my sister found pieces of the corsage in the bed.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that now.
Yeah.
Did either of you turn anyone down? Were there other invitations to the prom? Or were you two, everyone knew that you guys were together?
No, because we were exclusive at the time. So yeah, we didn't. There was no.
We were
question.
exclusive from the first time we started dating. It was
Yeah.
kind of like, you're not going to see anybody else, and I'm not going to see anybody else. So.
Oh, that's good. No chance of being abducted. And
Jeez, the Lola.
well, this is what I'm trying to get at.
A little bit. A
Yeah,
little
Big
bit.
Ben,
Yeah.
can you show me the scar of the heart on your chest? And you've got a little hole right in the middle of your forehead there.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
We don't talk about that hole.
I see you always wear this hat that shades it. Yeah,
That covers
that's
it up.
You speak well though, so you didn't go as far as bleach, Nancy. That's kind of you.
Right.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I use just regular drain cleaner.
I feel from that.
Yeah, we didn't have a prom.
But
Didn't really
you guys
happen.
have like any kind of formal
We have
dances?
like
or-
cotillions, stuff like
No, there was, but I think nowadays there is a bit more of that. I think that's kind of come over, but not. It wasn't like that then. So I
yeah.
missed out.
But
A
it was
prom here is like as big as a wedding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They go all out.
And you have to wear the flower on your arm or whatever.
They have to get the girl a corsage, and then he wears a boutonniere,
Yeah.
and he wears a tuxedo, and
The big thing nowadays is the promposal.
yeah, the promposal. Yeah,
The promposal.
that's
Basically,
they make a big spectacle out of asking somebody to be their date at prom.
Oh, do they film it and stuff?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
yep.
Oh
I
God.
would highly suggest you go and look at the cringe on YouTube or TikTok of the promposals.
It's gone wrong.
There was one I saw. A guy wrote. He had him and three of his buddies, and they rode up doing the Monty Python, clapping the coconut like he was riding up on a horse.
Oh God.
And then they announced, the one guy was the announcer or whatever. Do you so and so take so and so to go to prom with the blah 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 on the date of this, that, and the other?
Yeah.
And she says yes, and they said thank you, my fair lady, and then they Monty Python right out of there. Yeah,
Oh
it's
God.
horrible.
It's interesting you should mention that whole, the whole social media thing, because this was made in 2009, which is over 10 years ago. And I wondered how it might have been presented slightly differently if it was made now. Would Lola have had some kind of social media presence, for example? I'm imagining she would.
She totally would have.
Yeah.
And that is really scary. This is unknown territory for us. We didn't have to deal with that crap when we were
Yeah.
going to prom.
Imagine all the things, all the dirt people would have had on us.
We'd bring an escort these
I
days.
came home after prom and somebody left their corsage flowers in my bed.
Exactly. Yeah, they would have filmed it. Everyone would have filmed it. No one's safe. No one is safe.
Oh yeah.
But, what would Mia have... or Lola, how would she have presented it, I wonder?
She probably would have live streamed the torture onto a.
Yeah.
And she would probably have like a big library of like torture.
She could put like a 24-hour webcam in her cellar.
Yeah.
So you could watch, with night vision, you could watch her lovely gentleman.
That little snot could not get away with anything with social media now. She wouldn't be able to do what she did.
No. She'd have to have some wild, firewalls and VPNs and all sorts of
Yeah.
stuff, just blocking all the...
Dark web kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
teens.
Yeah.
I don't know how teens are in the UK, but teens in the United States are like completely controlled by the internet.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Every kind of correspondence is either going to be Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah.
Nobody goes on Facebook anymore because apparently that's for old
It's for
people.
old people, right?
Yeah, but there's an electronic paper trail for
Yeah.
everything that you do. And people are like getting in trouble for things that they did like 5 years ago because they have a record of it.
So Lola would have made like a boomerang video of her like drilling the hole and just coming back again. That kind
Oh
of
yeah,
thing.
she would. Yeah.
I like that there's none of that in it, to be honest. It feels very kind of raw and
It feels more natural.
it does. But
Yeah.
I mean, she managed to get away with a lot. Like there were a lot of guys, but Australian outback, anything seems possible, doesn't it?
What happens in the outback stays in the outback.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so much space in between places that even if you were to escape, it would probably take you a day
Yeah.
to run to.
This is not the outback that Crocodile Dundee taught us about. Because of the movies and whatnot. If I were walking through the outback, I would totally expect to be like mutilated by either like a kangaroo punching me,
By a shark,
a crocodile eating me. Yeah.
a giant spider.
Yeah, exactly. Those huge, like hand-sized spiders.
Yeah. Because you get some beasts, don't you? Like we're levels here. I'm level like 0. You're level maybe 4, and Australia is level 10 in terms of scary creatures that you shouldn't mess with.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it depends on
We
where
have
you're at in the U.S.
Yeah.
we have coyotes, we have wolves. If we have to, some people in the country have to watch their cats because a wolf will eat them. Sometimes an eagle will come down and grab a dog.
That's crazy. Yeah. I've never been taken by an eagle. I know that much. We have foxes. That's about as bad as it gets.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, foxes. I mean, they carry rabies, but yeah, they're.
They just wheel all over the place and it smells. I imagine it's a lot like a Taylor Swift concert smells now. So, we need to decide what we're going to do with this film. Would we flush it away like...
Like Lola flushed Brent's esophagus with bleach.
yes, I like that. Or would you fish it out kind of like Brent is fished out of the cellar when he climbs on all those bodies? Fishes himself out, really, doesn't he? I suppose. Nancy, would you like to start?
I would fish it out with a fish tank net because it was something that I would definitely watch again, especially if and when my daughter goes off to prom. I'm going to make sure that she watches this movie.
Excellent. This is what you should do if they say no.
Right.
Yeah.
She'd do it too. She's like,
She could be a Lola too.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I could totally see that.
I think, I'm not sure if that's good. An independent woman, you mean, yeah?
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm trying to draw
yeah.
the positive
Oh, yeah.
out of this in case
Yeah.
she listens.
We'll go with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Independent
possibly.
one.
Yeah, we'll say
Just
that.
bear in mind what I said, daughter. Okay? What about you, Big Ben? What would you do?
Yeah, I would definitely fish it out. We'd seen it, like it's been a long time. I don't know. It's one of those ones that you can revisit, I think.
Yeah, I would watch it again.
Yeah. So we're fishing it out.
You're fishing it out. Well, I would also fish it out. I felt that I really enjoyed watching it again. I think the performances are very strong, particularly Lola. She was terrifying.
Freaky. Yeah.
And this is this was a debut feature by Sean. I'm not sure how to say his name. Sean Byrne.
How is it spelled?
Is it?
And I thought it was really, really good, confident first film. It's horrible, scary, but also kind of amusing at times.
It is.
And that last shot, the slow reversal of the car towards Lola's head, followed by a thunk,
Right.
is very effective. It's really good. Some
Yeah,
great
I think-
editing there.
It's something that could actually happen.
Yeah.
It's not so far fetched that you'd never believe it.
Right. It actually
Yeah.
is
And there's no
because
supernatural element to it.
exactly.
So,
No, the fact that it's set in the outback helps, I think.
right.
Yeah.
That feels like a place where anything like this could happen.
Well, yeah. Some like dumb Americans could think this might be normal in Australia for all I know.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, that means that The Loved Ones is going into the tank of glory. which is very exciting.
When Eamon comes back, he's not going to be pleased.
Eamon's going to be furious. That means that something has to leave. So we have 5 films in the Tank of Glory: Top Gun Maverick, Infinity Pool, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Evil Dead Rise, and John Wick 4. Now, I have numbered them from 1 to 5, so I'd like you to choose a number, and that film will leave, and the loved ones will replace it. So what number would you like to pick?
I will say 3.
3. So Top Gun Maverick is leaving the Tank of Glory. It's been in there for a while, and that means the loved ones is replacing it. Crikey. All right, let's welcome the loved ones in. So that was The Loved Ones, which was great. And on to this episode's top 5. Now, with our guest hosts, last time with Alex, I asked him some trivia questions. I'm going to do the same for you guys. You are going to get 5 horror trivia questions. If you get 3 or more right, you choose a forfeit for me to complete, probably a horrific one involving bleach. And if you get less than 3 correct, I will choose a forfeit for you, which will definitely involve bleach. So, are you ready?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 1. How many times does Count Orlok blink through the entirety of his appearance in Nosferatu from 1922, I believe? You're both silent.
Oh, my gosh.
I know. I
don't believe he blinks at all throughout the entire movie. Is this multiple choice? Do we get multiple choice?
Okay, I'll give you 4 options. Not at all, once, 3 times, or 15 times.
Okay, 15 just seems too...
I would say 3 because you stressed the 3 times, almost like you subconsciously wanted us to choose that one.
So...
I'm going to say 3.
All right, 3.
Final answer?
We'll go with 3.
3. It is once.
Oh.
Only once, I'm afraid. Very poor start. Number 2. Which on-screen adaptation fell flat according to Stephen King?
Oh, The Shining.
Was The Shining, Big Ben? Well done.
He hates that
is
movie.
1 correct.
I can't see Stephen King and Stanley Kubrick collaborating on anything together.
Well, and that was the problem, is
No.
that Stanley Kubrick made The Shining completely different
Yeah,
than the book.
he made it a Stanley Kubrick movie, and
Yeah,
She loves The Shining.
I love it. He won't watch it.
I love The Shining.
I don't mind. It's not one of my
He's
favorite.
scared.
He's not scared. He just doesn't like it.
Scared.
Oh, I don't want to watch The Shining.
He doesn't like the freaky twins.
That's fair. They are absolutely terrifying.
He is a freaky twin.
I am a freaky twin, so
Oh, no.
he has a love-hate
Come
relationship.
play with
them.
us, Big Ben, forever
Yeah.
and ever. Okay, next question. Number 3. So you've got 1 right so far.
Yes.
What was used for blood in the film Psycho?
Chocolate syrup.
It was chocolate syrup. Big Ben, you are on a roll. Nice.
How would you know that?
It was a black and white movie.
Well, I know it was
He
black
didn't
and
need it
white.
to be
but-
red.
Do you know what type of chocolate syrup?
Well, there's only one if you're an American, and that's Hershey's.
It was Hershey's chocolate syrup. That's right. Number 4. And if you get this right, you've won.
Right.
Which horror film actress slept in bloody clothes for 3 days to nail the look of a gory scene?
I bet it was Sissy Spacek and Carrie.
You think so?
Is that your final answer?
I was gonna go with what's the gal from the new, or not the newest Evil Dead, but the 2013 Evil Dead. We'll go with Sissy Spacek and Carrie.
You are correct.
Oh,
Well done.
nailed it.
I'm really glad you accepted Nancy's answer there, Big Ben, because that I wouldn't want to cause that much conflict in a relationship
No.
on this podcast.
Oh yeah.
Hold
get
that
into
one
it. Yeah.
out.
Great job. So that's it. You got 3 out of 5. So I am going to be punished. Would you like one more question just for lols?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Shits and
All right.
gigs.
This would have been number 5. How many films are there within the Conjuring universe?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's Conjuring 1, 2, 3, and then there's like 4 Annabelles, so that's 7. There's 1 nun or 2 nuns, so that's 9.
Are we counting the ones where they jump the shark? Like the
Every
Puppet
every
Master
Conjureverse movie.
Yeah.
8.
It is 8.
Is
It is actually 8. You're on fire. Well done.
You're welcome.
I definitely deserve a forfeit for what you've gone through there. So very good. So what's my forfeit? What do I have to do?
Hammer a nail into your foot.
I have to hammer a nail through my foot. Okay.
a nail or steak knives?
Let's say you get to choose whether it's a steak knife or a nail.
Oh, hey, thanks.
Well, we don't want to be mean.
So I have to hammer a nail or a steak knife through my own foot.
Feet.
Feet.
Feet. Yeah, feet.
And it's not like those really expensive Japanese steak knives either.
Yeah.
This is like one of those dull Outback Steakhouse steak knives that you use.
It's not, well, it could be Crocodile Dundee's knife.
That's not a steak knife.
It's not a knife.
That's a steak
a knife.
knife.
This is a knife. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to hammer steak knives through my feet.
Yes.
Well, that is a particularly grisly forfeit, but I guess appropriate.
Yeah.
Perfect. Last week, Alex told me, I had to prepare a meal backwards. So this is what happened. So Alex asked me to prepare a meal backwards, like Gabriel from Malignant. I didn't want to do anything too complicated, so I've taken my trusty wok to a food market in Surrey, where I'm going to prepare a simple but delicious stir fry. Okay, so my wok is behind me, and I've started just warming it up. Quite a crowd gathered around me. I'm just going to toss in the meat, move it about a bit. It's very tricky with your back to the wok, but the crowd seem to like it. It's also very hot. Now I'm going to throw in the vegetables, move them about a bit. Quite a few people around now. Just going to finish it all off with my sauce. They seem to really be enjoying it. I think I might do this more often. It's actually not as hard as I thought it would be. Okay, I'm going to do one big last toss for the crowd to finish it all off. Here we go. Oh God, I think I might have blown it. Time to go. So that's it. Thanks for hanging out, guys. It was really fun.
It's always a blast.
It's always a pleasure.
It's nice chatting to you. I have to thank our Patreons, which is really awkward now.
You don't need to.
I do have to. I do. But we can compare them to torture methods in this film. Mike Foster, who would be, well, nothing too brutal.
He has to drink the milk.
Yeah, so Mike Foster would be drinking milk. Raph is definitely a hole to the head, through the skull. My mum, I guess she's like carving a heart into your own chest, isn't she? And my dad, who is brain-boiled lobotomy. That's nice. And Ben's off and on, so I can thank him as well. Ben, you are bleached to the vocal cords, definitely. But that's nice. So, yeah, guys, why don't you plug your podcast before we go?
We
Watch it.
are Ben and Nancy from the Extreme Horror Replay podcast. We are a married couple that love to watch movies and discuss
Argue
it
about them.
and bicker, bicker about them. XHR_podcast on Instagram. And we're available pretty much everywhere you can get your podcasts.
Yeah.
So find us there.
Shout out to Detroit.
Represent. Good stuff. Thank
Right.
you for joining me. Eamon, who knows? Hopefully he's alive. He might be in a cellar somewhere
Who knows?
with a hole in the middle of his head. You don't know. I hope not, but he might be. We'll find out soon. So you, because I can't say it because it's Eamon's line, you need to sign us out.
I will gladly.
Thank you, Big Ben. Please.
I don't think Nancy knows the going out line. So Keep flushing.